The number one thing that will tell me how successful a person will be, especially as a man, is their stress tolerance. I heard that quote from Andrew Tate a while back and it stuck with me to this day. Let me take you back to about May of 2023, so just a few months ago. It was around this time that I had to refund a client $3,000 because I couldn't get them any results at all. This was my first major L in business. At that time, I've been doing an online business for almost a year now, but this is really the first time where I couldn't get them any results and I lost out on a lot of money. I remember with this client particularly, he had told me on our discovery call that, hey, Arian, we know you guys use cold email and whatnot, but we've tried everything from paid ads or Google or Facebook and whatnot, but nothing seems to work. Trust me, in this industry, only referrals work. But me being the ambitious person that I was like, no, trust me, cold email will work, and let me show you how I'll make it work for you. I was dead wrong. After a few weeks of trying ChatGPT, adjusting angles, pumping out the email volumes, nothing, and I mean nothing, worked. So I ended up refunding him $3,000. You see, again, this is my first major L, and around this time, I'm starting to get really stressed. And it was around the first time that I actually hit a wall. I was around $4,000-$5,000 a month, and I just had lost out on a very, very valuable client and had to refund them a good chunk of money. So the stress starts to come to me and everything starts to pile on in my head. I start overthinking and the doubts come back in my head. Might be relatable to some of you. Anyways, I hop on a discovery call one day with a young 25-year-old, 26-year-old man that is doing very, very well for his agency. His company is doing over $1 million, maybe $2 million in revenue, and he's very, very young and successful, and he wants to see if I can help him out with cold email. Long story short, I can't help him out because honestly, him and his company are already doing really, really good with cold email, and there's just no way that we could actually help them out. So I just tell him, hey, we can't help you out, but from one entrepreneur to the other, can you offer me some advice? And he says, yeah, sure, go ahead. And so I tell him about the story, about, stress and all this extra stuff that's going on in my head. And he ends up telling me his own story of how he got started and got successful. He told me that he was from Ethiopia, and around the time when he was in high school, about 16, 17, 18, he started making money online doing marketing for other games. And I mean gaming companies, that is. He said that he started around $200 a month, which obviously here is nothing, but over there is pretty good chunk of money. He's told me that he was making more than his teachers himself. And eventually, after getting good results, he starts raising his prices. And eventually, he makes around $500 to $600 a month, which is more than doctors in Ethiopia, which is absurd for a 17 or 18-year-old to do in a third world country like that. He then goes to the US to try to chase his dreams, and he goes through the ups and downs that every entrepreneur goes through. He told me that one day his account was in overdrafts. So overdraft is kind of like whenever you get below zero in your bank balance and you're in the negative. So let's say he was a negative 100. Now one day he's driving his car to work and he runs out of gas. He's already in overdraft. And he told me that obviously his friends couldn't Zelle him or Cash App or send him any money online, because even if they sent him $20 for gas, he couldn't do anything with it. He would still be negative $80. So what his friends actually had to do was to bring a can of gas, literally a can of gas, to come help and fill it in his car. He told me one major thing that really, really stuck with me, and that was, if it was easy, everybody would be able to do it. Now, him and his company are doing over a billion, maybe 2 million in revenue. He lives in a penthouse and drives a Audi R8, and he's still in his mid 20s. You, as a entrepreneur, and especially as a man, absolutely need stress. Stress is what builds you as a man. If you run away and decide that, oh, I want to live a stress free life forever, 24/7, I don't want any stress, I guarantee you, you will not be successful at all. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you my 3-step framework for handling with stress and becoming the greatest version of yourself. So, step number 1 is you have to accept that stress will be there no matter what in life, and you can't run away from it. See, the first major thing you have to realize here is to become great, or to become really good at business, or to get really wealthy, whatever goal you may have, whatever hard goal or ambition that you have in your life, you have to deal with stress. If you're anything like me, you want to become great and you want to live a life full of excitement and being able to do whatever you want, and you want to become someone that is respected amongst his peers, you have to go through stress. Like I said, whether you're building a business or building a physique or whatever it may be, to live a great life, you have to go through stress. Now, if you don't want to be great, and if you want to be a average normie like everybody else around you, then click off this channel. This channel is not for you. But if you've watched this far and you want to be like me and you want to be someone great, you have to go through stress. Stress is kind of like in a video game. Whenever you want to get to the next level, you have to do certain side quests or certain things to kind of level yourself up and get ready for the next level. Except in this level, this next level you want to reach, you have to go through stress. So the first step here, accept that stress is a part of the journey, and accept that you will always feel stressed. So I like to play a lot of chess with my little brother, but you can also do something like Sudoku. And the main benefit here of doing these mental activities is that you're training your prefrontal cortex. You see, there's really 2 parts of your brain, your limbic system and your prefrontal cortex. And I'm not going to get too deep into this, but the basic breakdown here is that your prefrontal cortex is the rational part of your brain, while the limbic system is actually the emotional part of your brain. Now, you can't really get rid of your limbic system and just not be emotional. That's obviously impossible. But what you can do is train your prefrontal cortex so that you don't make your decisions off of your emotions. Especially as a man, this is very important. So that you don't make your decisions just because you feel like it, and you actually think through and use your prefrontal cortex to think about a decision and then make them. You're basically becoming more masculine, less feminine, because you're thinking less emotionally. That is the main benefit of doing these mental activities like chess, Sudoku, whatever other kind of mental activities or mental games that you can play here. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking here. Aryan, can't I just play video games to relieve my stress? And to that, I say, come on, bro. It's time to grow the fuck up. Are you really going to play video games every single time you get stressed? Now, every once in a while, you can play your Valorant or your NBA 2K, whatever game you want to play. Every once in a while is fine, right? But every single time you get stressed, are you really going to play a fucking video game like a geek? Look at everybody else around you. Look at all these people that you know that are successful. You think that they play video games every time they get stressed? Like a dork? Every once in a while, sure, go ahead, play your video games, do whatever you want with it, but genuinely ask yourself, is this even worth it? Is this what the highest leverage of my time? Is this something that will actually help me out and relieve the stress? If the answer is yes in that moment, sure, go ahead, play a video game, but just look at everybody else around you and compare your life to theirs. Do you want to be like them? Do you want to have the same boring life of playing video games every single day after work? That's not what you want if you watch this channel. If you want to be great, which chances are if you have watched to this far, you do, you're not going to want to play video games because you have better things to do. You could learn about history. You could go read books on enhancing your knowledge. You could be playing, you could do physical activities. There's a lot of better ways to relieve stress than playing video games. Trust me. Trust me. Anyways, to summarize step 2, do physical activities like sports, lifting weights, cardio, martial art to relieve stress, and do mental activities like playing chess, Sudoku, and another thing that I will throw in there is do meditation as well, because that will also relieve a lot of stress. So step number 3 is learn just to laugh and live with the stress. After you've accepted that you need stress to build you up as a man, and that stress will always be there no matter what, and you found ways to relieve that stress, you honestly have all the tools just to fight against the stress and just accept it. Now what you need to do is to learn to live with being stressed and accept that stress is here to stay. And use that chaos that comes with the stress, that comes with the pressure, to mold yourself into the person that you want to be. There's a reason why they say diamonds are forged under pressure, my friend. So use it to become the greatest version of yourself that I know that you can be. So to summarize, accept that stress will be there no matter what, in business or in life overall. Then learn ways to relieve that stress through physical or mental activities like lifting weights or playing chess. Then finally, learn to live with that stress and use it to become the best version of yourself. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my 3-step framework for handling stress. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.